hero ban, then going into the Project Next meta, they were one of the teams who be able to pull it up, and they're actually against. That was the same time that they went through Brain Esports, getting that was 2-0, right, for against them, and that is something to note for Omega. But meanwhile, for Blacklist International, they've been doing very great as well on their own respective bracket. Well, we could make a reference probably on the first time they meet, but that was the very first week of the regular season, which is somehow we cannot be able to do a reference on that because the meta that like 2 months ago was way, way different right now.
Yep. And as we can see right here, ladies and gentlemen, we will head on to game number 1. Draft is on Blacklist International here with that Hilda ban, Esmeralda, and the Barretts alongside it. And for the side of Omega, it's going to be Natalis, Alina, and the Khaled.
Yes, that's going to be a no-brainer for Blacklist International. Whenever Uranus is open, they definitely gonna first pick it. And it looks like Dexter will be the one to be replaced here by Killer. So this is a very, this is a surprise factor indeed for Blacklist. Pulling off their 6th man just right onto the playoffs. This could also be, what do you think? This could be a risky play as well for them since, I mean, Killer didn't play a single match, rather a series for the whole regular season, and suddenly he's going to be playing for a knockout round.
Well, I think for Blacklist International, they're just trying to, you know, they tried to find another setup for their team. This could cost them. Yes, this is a double-edged sword. It can work against the enemy, and it can work against you. And getting one loss in this playoffs is a big thing. It gets into your head.
It is. It is.
It gets into your head. That's for sure.
And that, yeah, I don't want to think about how will Killer feel if they might probably lose this one. But of course, that's not going to be the mindset that he has right now because he aimed here. He was part of the team because he wanted to win and he actually deserves to be in the team. Now, going back into the draft, I'm really liking how Blacklist International is proceeding. They do have here one of the support that's very explosive during the early game, which is the Farsa, and also an insurance to be able to hold on the lanes in case something happened during the early to mid game and you are actually turtling it out onto the late game. And meanwhile, this is a very different type of strategy coming from Omega, getting that Alice on the very 3rd pick for them.
And you know what? I just have to put it out there right now. The boot camp or the place where Blacklist International is playing, it looks like a set from a sitcom. Now that I have that all out of the way, just put it to the farthest. Just put it to the farthest corner, Rob.
All right.
Let's go back to Omega. Omega here, they pick the Alice on the 3rd slot. You don't see that.
It is.
You don't see that every day.
Yes, it is. It is. I mean, there is no. I'm not saying there's no point on picking it on the 3rd, but they might be trying to hold on to their situational picks. We haven't seen an Hadji hero here, but Hadji been doing well with the Roger in a couple of weeks of the regular season, but still they're banning heroes for Hadji here, and the only ones open is gonna be the Lancelot or Claude if they may want to do that. So I guess it's gonna be a Lancelot. What do you think?
It's going to be very risky if you go for a Lancelot right now, but it is the possible pick onto the side of Omega. Like Omega here, they don't really have that support hero. They might want to go for that. I mean, in terms of the carries, I think Blacklist International just secured their mid lane, their jungler. So they're fine in that department. If they pick a support right now, it wouldn't really hurt them as well. And they will go for that because when you think about it, you have the Farsa on the other side, you have the carry on the other side, and that's the only things that are lacking for you. So there's no deny pick. If they even deny the carry, that's going to be a very greedy setup for Blacklist International, and that could cost them in the long run.
That was a diggy, and Blacklist International is one of the teams who didn't even try to utilize the DG meta that was brought up by
Okay.
Aura.
Okay. You really have to look out for this certain setup that Blacklist International is doing. This is going to be a Diggy and a Farsa support combination. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna probably gonna go to where what lane this Popol and Koopa is gonna go in, and they're gonna take all the energy, and they're gonna move on to
Yes.
one lane. They're gonna take all the energy. If that happens seamlessly, the gold output for the side of Blacklist International is going to be crazy.
Yes, really crazy, and I totally agree with you. By the way, guys, this is gonna be a core Popol and Koopa. It's not gonna be the usual tank that's been used on the couple of weeks of the regular season. The Digi is really gonna be canceling a lot of crowd controls coming from Omega. They could be able to run for the ultimate coming from the this Alice that's gonna be going in together with the Black Dragon. That's gonna disrupt the way or the formation for the side of Blacklist International. This is very interesting, specifically for the draft of Blacklist. I really want to see how they could be able to pull this one off.
Yep, and you just have to know how things are gonna go here onto the side of Omega. I mean, this is a very interesting draft coming out from Blacklist International, and I feel these kinds of drafts are just one-offs. Like, you can pick it right now to surprise someone, but after that, if they see the
Yes.
strategy happen, it's not gonna work on them the second time. This feels so cheesy, and this certain draft that you have on your side feels so traditional.
Yes, definitely. This is gonna be a cheese strategy coming from Blacklist International, but it's still Omega that they're going against, the team that somehow on their interviews they don't want to face, but the fate is given them, or rather the destiny that they have to face their greatest fear, which is Omega. And this is the time for them to prove that they could be able to win against these team.
Remember, Michael Jordan said on his inauguration speech, the last line, fear is somewhat of an imagination. It really just sets you up to your limits when it's not even your limit in the first place.
Oh.
That's not word per word, but you know what? That's really something that you really have to think about if you are Blacklist here.
It is.
If you can get over your fear, then after that, that's going to be a smooth sailing ride for you.
Exactly. Well, very well said, Butters. And together with what you've said, you've already see how Blacklist is going to be proceeding. Look at that energy shield. Almost less than a minute there. It's already been half HP, and they could be able to chip everything for this point, and that's going to be a gold. I mean, a gold.
Yeah. And this Yuzhong cannot go there. Look at the pressure that they're doing here. And it doesn't even matter because two people are hitting that turret. And they will actually try and go for that engage. Eson here will be the first blood and the pressure is on. But while everything is happening, Omega cannot react that easily. Because you know what? There are still other lanes that Omega needs to look out for, especially on that Uranus and on that Hellcurt.
Yes. Is there a way that this Diggy would try to do the strategy?
I don't think so.
No way.
I
Yes.
don't think so.
I mean, if he actually gonna do it, that's gonna bolster Omega in terms of getting their items fast and quick, and it's something that you don't want for Blacklist as a Blacklist International. But yeah, I guess this Popol and Koopa is doing great here onto the top lane, and so does Full Clip. I mean, he's left unscathed, and he can be able to get farm, and it's
look
only
at this.
killer.
Look at the rotation that is happening onto the top lane. They want to fight this as much as possible, and they're just controlling Kurt TZ. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the gold lane up top. Remember, the bottom lane has the scrolls on the cannons, and the gold lane has the gold on the cannons. And it is going to be first turret down onto the side here of Omega.
Yes, though there's a return kill for onto the bottom lane Butters, is that I think it's totally worth it. I mean, Killer sacrificing himself just to get all the minion waves on down to the bottom lane for his tower not to get chipped down, or at least get the energy shield. So far, the gold lead is just minimal, like 500, but there's an ulti coming from Eson, and still he can't be able to go out. Now, it's the lane has been shifting now, Butters, and
Yeah,
we've
it's
seen.
it's shifting as we've said. Now that the turret up top is okay, the gold lane is still there. The gold buff on that certain lane is there. Uranus can get the the last siege creep on that area. The last gold creep on that area. As you can see here, Killer will want that, but with this as well, Aqua will be getting the extra XP.
Yes.
Now they can take that out even without the shields. If that's fine.
Yes, yes, I guess that's gonna be fine. But what's fine here is that, oh well, this might be a hard, to be honest, a hard tower to break down since the Alice could be able to shove on the minion waves here onto the bottom lane. But what's next for Blacklist? It's gonna be the turtle.
Objectives after objectives. This is high objective take composition. It really works well. It really works well for the side of Blacklist International. And look at that. Death from above, Edward.
Oh, wow. And here comes the IRM. Look at Edward here, already finishing his Clock of Destiny as early as 4 minutes into the game. Well, so does Toshi, but I guess it's gonna work well more for the Farsa since it will be able to be very aggressive here. And Blacklist International are really forcing to take down this turret onto the bottom lane.
Yeah. Haji, the Triple H combination, they are rotating. And look at the pressure that's happening right here. It feels to me like Omega is just dancing to the music of Blacklist International.
Yes.
It's like a choreography.
Definitely. I mean, the balance for Blacklist is really nice to hear right now. I mean, oh my god, Omega, they had to step it up. Well, had GC is still a thing here, ladies and gentlemen. YSS gonna still hit like a truck, definitely on mid to the late game, since Blacklist International has a very squishy type of lineup, given that only Killer is gonna be the tanky one and none other than him. And for crowd controls, they don't have any aside from the Dark Knight Falls and of course the ultimate coming from this DG to disengage or engage probably. And now this might be another turret down for Omega.
And it is going to be another turret down. Look at the capability of Blacklist International to keep on going for the push. Killer here will be that fortress of power for the side of Blacklist International that enables them to do this.
Yes. What I'm thinking right now, Butters, to be honest, is if this Kurtizi, or rather this Yuzhong, could be very tanky enough to be able to go into the back lanes of Blacklist, they might have a shot like canceling the feathered airstrike from Edward or even going to Aqua. But Killer, look at how nuisance he was, but Full Clip able to secure the turtle once again for the side of Blacklist. And this outer turret on the mid lane might actually fall once again. Blacklist International getting tower after tower for Omega and choking them for the gold, for the resources. And if this happens from time to time, I guess Omega will just starve for gold. And as well with the map control, they're really losing it quickly.
And this is a new take on playing Mobile Legends.
It is.
On Project Next. This is actually a new take.
Blacklist International did prepare a lot for this game. Number one, putting out Killer right there. This is something unexpected. Number two is the way they draft. They somehow already figured it out that this is going to be working against Omega. And they studied hard for this one.
Looking at it, they don't even have a tank. Well,
It is.
a dedicated tank, I mean, Killer is way too tanky as well. But one of the things that Killer does is deal significant amount of damage as well. So
Yeah.
that means it's a perfect mixture of your damage reduction, and it's a mixture of getting that magic power going on your side as well.
Exactly. I mean, yes, it's going to be a tanky Uranus, but you cannot really count him as a tank because he doesn't even have a crowd control. Yes, he do have here a stun on his dash, but just very minimal, like less than a second stun, and that's not gonna cut it for the side of Omega. But what he's actually doing right now is he can be able to give vision like this one. No one from the side of Omega would want to bring down this Uranus just because they can't.
And they can do anything. When they commit on killer, then that means you have to eat the fairly airstrike.
Exactly. Exactly. And what's nice here as well for the side of Blacklist is that they do have these traps coming from Aqua that's giving them a lot of vision. They really know when and where Omega are gonna do their engagement. And from this point forward, I guess Blacklist International just waiting on to the Lord. They could be able to take it down or probably get a pickup. And yes, but Toshi still just working its way.
Look at Killer.
He's actually been dancing around.
Yeah, he's just he's waiting for the right time where his regeneration is gonna come up. He goes back when he regenerated already, and he feels like that he's playing with fire there.
It is.
But while everything of this is happening, they force out Toshi to go back, and that means the lane is gonna be shoved.
Yes.
Onto the bottom lane. Now, looking at the net worth here, Rob.
Yes.
Look at it. What do you see? Are there anything? Are there things that we need to look at here that would make this significantly a Blacklist International game at this point?
I guess we've seen that Hadjisi, yes, he actually has the BOD. So does Curtisi with the Bloodless Axe and as well with the Queen Swing. But aside from that, they don't. Well, Toshi do has his Clock of Destiny and Lightning Truncheon, I guess. But it's still not enough. And this is something as well for the Omega right now. They do have an execute on the Yuzhong, and he actually doesn't have any kill. This only means that if he's not performing onto this game, it's because Not is not good, because he cannot be able, or the team is really holding it because they can't find the right time, or rather the execution, to get on here on Blacklist International.
Yeah, and right now, Edward has watched that MPL ID finals. He was the one who secured that buff, that purple buff.
Yes.
Because he needs the mana.
It is. But look like Blacklist International just trying to get this one. Been spotted out by the Mountain Shocker going into the back lane. We're looking for an ejector, and that's gonna be Eston. He took it away, but the ultimate coming from the Digi will make them disengage. Look at Killer.
Look at Killer. He goes in and living up to his name for his namesake. Ladies and gentlemen, Killer here going 1v5. But that won't work on your favor because MOBAs don't work like that, boy.
Yes, there's no one as strong as 5-man team. Yes, you are tanky. You're one of a Uranus, but you cannot be able to hold 5 heroes here for Omega. That's slightly a miscommunication because we've seen 4 members of Blacklist International already disengage right after the ultimate from the Digi, and it's just Killer just going on, and he actually tried to kill Hit with no avail.
I just have to put this away on my side as well. If you reverse Eson, it spells nose.
Oh, yes. Well, guys.
I just have to get it out of the way, too.
Did you get it?
Okay.
I guess our viewers didn't even recognize that. And
probably.
it's you, Butters, just
Probably.
the one who will be able to get that pun. But now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very low kill game. This 2 out of 3, but look at the gold gap. That's a 5,000 lead for Blacklist International. But this is where Omega shine best, late game. Their heroes are capable to scale. Definitely, Yuzhong, even Toshi, Hadjizi.
I'm actually, baffled about this certain lineup that Blacklist International did. It looks like a run and gun setup. I'm not seeing the potential of this certain setup in which where they can actually win it into the late game.
Yes.
Like, there's no late game potential for me at this point. I mean, yes, Popol and Koopa is a marksman, but he's not your traditional marksman.
Indeed. And this is something to note as well for Blacklist International, that they do have this like something like a ticking time bomb that they need to close the game or at least get a pick off and get the Lord. If this just goes on, even with a 5,000 lead, they're gonna cap at around 50,000. Meaning to say, regardless, all the towers or the inner turrets here for the side of Omega has been taken down at 50,000 gold. They're both of their cores already had the items that they need to pull up the late game. And all the leads that Blacklist International have right now will just vanish.
A very cheesy way to play, I had to say.
I think Omega,
Super, ultra cheesy.
Omega definitely knows their win condition here, guys.
Yeah, they should just clear the waves. Do not let Blacklist International get everything, and they want, and just try to control the game as much as possible. And there comes a Winter Truncheon. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to be full clip, going in and taking the life of Toshi here.
Yes.
Toshi will go down. Curtsy going for the Black Dragon form. He could deal any more damage.
Oh my, yes, they did kill Toshi, but it was able to go away. But I guess this is going to be the best timing for Blacklist International to take down this Lord. Will this Omega, can they be able to contest this one, Butters?
This is going to be interesting on how Omega will face this head on. Because the thing Blacklist International doing right now here is they're just playing the keep away game.
Yes, the keep away game, but Toshi is not here. Again, Multi-Shocker might actually get a last hit, but Full Clip will be the one to take that.
I mean,
Lord.
Mountain Shocker, even 3 of those, Retribution still is best.
Definitely. That's around 2,000 plus of damage.
Yeah.
That's 600 to 2,000. That's a range damage for Retribution. And still, I think, more guaranteed way to get the Lord at that point. But, well, there's no way for Haji to be able to get near to do his Retribution as well. Look at that. That for S.
Oh!
Ejector. But the damage. Look at the feathered airstrike hitting like a truck for the members of Omega. But Lord was been taken down just right before it hits the base turret here on the mid lane for Omega. Still, Blacklist is International going in the bottom lane.
And they try to poke the hell out of Heath. Heath will go down. They take down one person onto the top lane. There is a push happening with Uranus. And right now, Omega is spread out through their base. Blacklist International. What kind of cheese is this?
Oh.
Is this Parmesan? Is this mozzarella? I don't know. This is like 4 cheese.
This is the cheese that you will never forget, Butters. It's just like the one on Christmas that you're only gonna see it once.
The cheese ball.
The cheese balls. You're never gonna see it the whole time of the year, but this is the right moment, the right timing to place it onto the table of Omega, and it's about to chew them up. I mean, look at that. They already lost all their base turrets, and they're just holding on their base right now.
And they go in. They actually use the ejector, but Killer just way too tanky. Look at this. Edward dealing so much damage at this point. They want to end this. They go straight for the base. And yes, Blacklist International with a 4 cheese pizza strategy.
Yes, that was very cheesy indeed, Butters. But, oh wow, Killer. The secret ingredient for Blacklist International. Is Edward crying right now?
No.
Oh, it's actually
He's just trying to focus. I mean, you can't cry. You don't have the liberty of crying right now.
It is. Oh wow, guys. Oh man, this day really surprises us. A lot of things. Of course, in terms of the poll, is that Blacklist International were somehow below into the sports. In terms of they were somehow like the underdog for this one, and Omega being the one on the top seed. But that game is no joke. I mean, it isn't even close for the Omega.
You might want to share your coffee with me.
Oh
so
yes, exactly.
But then again, ladies and gentlemen, I think in a way that is more of a one-off.
Yeah.
You don't once you draft that in game number 1, and once people play with that, they will almost or certainly always have an answer after that game.
Yes.
But I don't know. How effective is this? Let's ask Manjin. Manjin, what do you think about that draft?
Dinalang baon ng Blacklist International, talagang pinatunayan nga nila na binibreak nila ang code. Ibang klaseng putahe, ang tagal nilang tinago si Killer. At doon talagang pinakita nila wala nang taguan ng strat. Ilabas si Killer, ilabas ang Digi, ilabas ang Popol and Kupa Marksman, and Blacklist International getting, should I say, dominant victory against Omega na hindi in-expect ni na Mr. Worldwide. Looking at the items right now, I think na-emphasize din to ng ating mga casters about the instance na nagkaroon agad ng tank item si Killer on the Oracle to counter the Valier damage, to counter the Alice damage. Tapos rekta siya dito ng more tanky items ng parang na Brute Plus breastplate, may dominance sa ice pa siya. Perfect against the Yishun Shin. Men, gusto kong i-emphasize dito, carry, Popol, and Kupa mula kay Aqua. It rhymes. Ang tagal natin hindi nakakita ng carry na Popol and Kupa. I think around Season 5 may gumamit niya ng isang carry, pero mostly puro support ang nakikita natin. And men, Marksman, DHS, Corrosion Site, lahat ng mga nangyayari doon kay Popol ay nangyayari din sa Chicho Dog na si Kupa. So double attack din, dobling kagat din yung ginagawa dito ng Popol and Kupa. Ang pwede natin itawag dito is the zoning technique, the Trap Nation technique, kung saan hindi ka makakalapit. You have time bombs, you have the dog, the Chicho Dog, meron ka pang Farsa na may feather air strike. Once na nakuha ng Team Blacklist International dito yung kanilang level 5 or level 4, I mean, yung kanilang mga ultimates, hindi na makakalapit ang Omega dahil tignan natin ngayon ang post-game stats. Medyo low scoring again itong ating game kasi nga standard para sa Omega itong lineup. Nakikita natin si Heat actually doing a great job doon sa mga early stages. Fundamental eh. Sabi nila, oh sige, ejector tayo, kuha tayo, pick off tayo, pero nung dumating na yung level 4, nung dumating na yung ultimate dito ni Eson Esports, instant ultimate lang ng time journey, back out, wag tayo magpwersa ng laban, sabi ng Blacklist, energy shields lang and towers ang kailangan natin kunin. Look at the full clips tower damage. Onti lang yung damage na nagawa ni full clip. Siya yung carry. Pero puro tore lang ang dinamage niya. 17,000, 16k lang. Halos magkalapit. Meanwhile, kay Edward lang lahat ng pokes na napunta dito with the assist. I think ito na ata yung pinaka mababang score all throughout MPL history, pero napaka-intense ng nangyaring matchup. Sabi nga ng mga casters natin, para tayong nanonood ng chess game. Look at this, even yung towers, love set para sa Omega. I think knowing Omega right now, nagulat dito si Mr. Worldwide, si Mr. Dale. I think yung labanan natin ng coaches na pinag-uusapan kanina ng ating panel, pinag-uusapan ng ating mga casters, nakaisa si Bon Chan. Ang tanong, nilabas dito ng Blacklist International ang kanilang 6th man. Ilalabas kaya nila ngayon si Clutch Time Kenji para lang makaisa. Let's move on sa ating smart highlights of the game. Actually, wala tayong masyadong highlights kasi puro push ang mga naganap dito sa ating game. Pero kung ating pagmamasdan, hindi talaga makalapit dito ang Team Omega. Sila yung sila yung napapa-oh my G. Sila yung napapa-oh. Ito naman, umabot na nga tayo. Yung highlights natin, guys, umpisa lang tapos patapos na. Ganoon kalupit. Yung highlights natin, umabot na ng 15 minutes. Gusto ko lang i-emphasize dito na look at the emblems ngayon. Man, the support emblems para dito sa side ng Blacklist International. Avarice, automatic, meron kayong makukuhang pera, meron pa kayong mga energy shields, tapos meron pa kayong extra damage. Men, pull yourself together, Eson Esports. it's a total team effort para sa Blacklist International. They know their responsibilities, they know their roles sa ganitong lineup. Nung regular season, I think Signal Ultra was the one who pulled off this Dige and Popol in Kupa strat. Hindi lang ako sigurado kung carry Popol in Kupa ba yun, pero I think it was the same plan. Get the tower early, and I think Omega late na sila nakapag-react para dito sa side ng Blacklist International to the point na naubos na lahat ng mga towers nila. They were doing a great job on doing kung ano man yung trabaho ng Omega. Toshi on the side lane, Curtizi just skipping it on the side lane as well. Si Heat naman sa kanyang pagpitas, Haze tulak-tulak sa likod, Hajizi farm. Pero hindi sila prepared dito sa zoning strat. Ano naman tawag dito? Another wonderful Digi na pinakita sa atin ng Blacklist International, and of course your MVP of the game, full clip na napakataas na naging damage sa mga towers dahil Tori nga naman ang kalaban sa MLBB, hindi ang